You're listening to Community Forum on KCCC 930 AM, sponsored by Eddy County, honoring God, country, and family, thriving with industry since 1889. Also sponsored by CNB Bank. Go to carlsbadnational.com to learn more. Thank you for listening to Community Forum. My name is Johnny Chandler. I'm the owner of KCCC 930 AM and the host of Community Forum. And with me today is Southeast New Mexico Community College HSI and Grant Services Department employees, right? I guess, is that the right way to put it? I don't know if that is, but you guys are going to tell me. So HSI stands for Hispanic Serving Institution, which is also with the Grant Services Department. And you can, if anybody that's listening can kind of tell, I'm a little confused as to how this works, which is why I have these gentlemen here with me today. And so starting on my right, even though you can't see me, is going to be Raymond Dominguez. Raymond Dominguez is the Title V Activity Director for HSI and Grant Services here at SENMC. Raymond, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good. So I'm going to let you explain what Title V Activity Director and your role and how long you've been here in a couple of minutes, right? But I also want to just go down the line and introduce everybody. Number 2 on the list here, sitting across from me is Ron Morales. Ron Morales is the Program Manager for HSI and Grant Services here at SENMC. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, Johnny.
Good, good. And now, before we started recording, you also mentioned that you were under Title V grant as well, I guess, right?
Yes, I
okay.
am.
So we're gonna let you explain what Program Manager under the Title V grant, under the Title V Activity Director does for everybody, right? And then on my left is Joel Barrett. Joel Barrett is the STEM Activity Promoter for HSI Grant Services, as well as an SENMC student. How are you doing today?
Very good. Good morning, Johnny. Thank you for having me.
Great. I'm interested, especially in talking to Joel, about a couple things. One, being a bit of a non-traditional student and what SENMC has to offer to him now that we're a newly independent college, which we wear with pride here now. You know what I mean? It's really great to not be an Aggie, and if you're an Aggie out there listening, I'm sorry, but we're happier. All right, so I divest. Raymond Dominguez, Title V Activity Director. Sir, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you became passionate to be a member of education, and then also I want you to kind of explain a little bit about what Grant Services is and HSI and their relationship with SENMC. So I don't know which way you want to do that. You want to start with the program in general, or do you want to start with you and then get into the program?
I can start with myself, and then we'll go into the program.
Great.
Again, my name is Raymond Dominguez, and I'm 27 years old.
All right.
I think.
Okay, well, maybe.
I've been working for Southeast New Mexico College for 3 years and a half.
Okay.
So it's not a long time, but I have been here throughout the transition to independent college, so it's been really interesting.
Right. Hold on. Joel, do we hold anything against him because he used to be an Aggie?
I don't know. You know, he might smell a little funny.
Sorry, man. I divest. Ron was an Aggie, too, for a little while, right? Okay.
I'm not. So
okay, at all.
We're good. So how I started here, I was working as the admissions advisor. So I was a recruiter for the college. And then a year ago, I moved into HSI Grant Services Department. Before I started working for the HSI department, I was not aware about the titles and then the programs, even like what HSI stands for.
Yeah.
So that's something very interesting.
So tell everybody again what HSI stands for.
HSI stands for Hispanic Serving Institution.
Okay, and so how does a college get an HSI designation?
Well, let's start with the definition of the HSI. The definition of HSI is as an institution that is a higher education institution that has more than 25% enrollment of Hispanic/Latinx students.
Okay.
So they have to apply to become a HSI, but if they have more than 25% of Hispanic students, they can become an HSI.
So let me ask you a question then, and I don't know if you know this or not, so if I put you on the spot, I'm sorry, but considering the demographics and the population of the state of New Mexico, right, every higher education institution or every institution in our state, hypothetically, is an Hispanic serving institution, right? I mean, is there any enrollment in the state of New Mexico that has less than 25% Hispanic enrollment in it in the state of New Mexico when we're like half of our population, right? So my point being is I think just thinking about it for a second, I think that we are an Hispanic serving state in a way, right? You know what I mean? So everything that we do within the state, we're an Hispanic serving institution, right? Because we have the largest Hispanic population in the state, in the country, right? And have from the very beginning of our territory and statehood to where we've always been that way, right? Also, and I'm sidetracking a little bit, but that's what I do. Also, the idea is our state constitution has 2 official languages, not 1, right? 2, Spanish and English, right? So we are a Spanish state just as much as we are an English state. I digress, but you think about it for a second, it makes a lot of sense. We should be focused as a state and as an organization on serving Hispanic students when the reality is we have a lot of Hispanic students, so let's be smart about it. Okay.
And just to give you an example, here at Southeast New Mexico College, I think last time, fall of 2023,
Yeah.
The statistics shows that we have more than 59% of our students are considered Hispanic.
Oh, enrolled at the college.
At this college.
At this college
Southeast
specifically.
New Mexico College. Yes.
Wow. Okay. That's a very interesting stat. I love stats. I love percentages. I love all that stuff. So before I jump to Ron here in a second, I want you to kind of get into what Title V means, because I was like, what's your title? Well, my title is Title V, right? Kind of sounds a little weird when you first hear it. My title is Title V. So tell us a little bit about Title V as the activity director and what that means for you, the college, the community.
So as a Title V activity director, I'm in charge of oversee one of the HSI grant that we have here.
Okay.
So and in our department, we have currently 3 different grants, HSI grants.
Okay.
And we have 3 different activity directors or managers, and I'm in charge of one, which is called Ascender. That's the name of the grant.
Okay.
And it's for first year experience.
Okay.
So Title V, there's a difference. There are Title III and Title V. Those are programs from the Department of Education. And Title V, it stands for Improve and Expand Capacity of Serving Students. So that means that grant specifically is to expand educational opportunities for students, for Hispanic students. So that's
Okay. And so give me one example of how you would do that, right? As an activity, is there one program that you've already run or done?
So we have a few programs.
Yeah,
Just to give you an example, we have one of the components, of the objectives of the grant, is financial literacy.
Yeah, right.
So we collaborate with Financial Security Credit Union, and we provide workshops to our students in the community.
Yeah, and that's once a month at least, right?
It's once a month.
Yeah, because it's posted everywhere, all over the college,
Yeah.
right? And on social media. So if you go to Southeast New Mexico College Facebook page, right, or their Instagram, do you guys have your own Facebook page?
Yes.
Okay, go
so
ahead.
if one of the listeners can follow us on Instagram, you can type SENMC HSI Grant Services. Or on Facebook, you can also like us on Facebook, and you can stay tuned to all of these workshops and events that we have every semester.
Right, great. And you guys should definitely do that. It is an entertaining social media feed. I obviously follow it quite a bit. You guys have a really great person who's doing some cool graphics that I don't think any other department in the college has, by the way. Especially the Halloween with the skeleton and stuff. I thought it was really neat, right? And then you had Joel here doing a STEM prize giveaway video that was really smooth, man. You've got some talent.
And let me tell you, I love doing stuff like that, and I have found a home in HSI Grant Services. One of the other programs we have that Raymond runs that is an absolutely wonderful program is going to be our peer mentoring program.
Okay.
And this is where we have student workers that work for our department, and they go and, if you're having trouble at home, if you're having trouble with classes, anything like that, you can scan a QR code or come down to the office or just email Raymond here, and you get access to someone who's the same age or who's also a student that's going through the same types of issues and can relate to the home life for the kids or something that's going on. And that has we've seen an uptick of that, especially coming up with the holidays. And that service really provides, I use it, and I'm a pretty on-set student, but there's sometimes I get to things where, I can't handle. And that's one of those programs that Raymond runs and is title funded, and it is absolutely fantastic.
Right. I think it's important to realize that I've been here. I've now, listeners know this, but I work at the college as well as a broadcast media program manager. And one thing I've noticed being in a college setting for 3 months when I hadn't been on a higher education campus in 20 years is you do forget the life changes that these young people are going through, becoming from students to trying to be young adults to then trying to be adults and figure out their career. And so my wife and I have a daughter that's 21 years old, right? She's about to graduate from beauty school, and she's getting close. And that stress and that fear of, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Everything's so expensive. What do you mean you can't pay for all my stuff again for the rest of my life? You know what I mean? All those stresses are real. And even though as adults now we feel like we went through all that stuff, right? Even though now we feel like it was easier. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Right. So Joel Barrett is the STEM activity promoter. You're also a non-traditional student. So you're promoting STEM activities. So, that's obviously what your job is based on the title, but why don't you give me a little more than that?
Absolutely. So we, as So STEM falls under Title III. We are operating under Centro STEM right now. And so HSI, to piggyback off of what Raymond was saying, Hispanic serving institutions. So once you get that designation from the federal government, we are then, as an institution, awarded grants to specifically focus on first-year low-income and Hispanic students. Okay, and that's the demographic we have here reach at Southeast New Mexico
Raymond, you
College.
said that your Title V is related to first-year students, right?
Yes.
So Title III is also related to first-year students, or is everything you guys do related to first-year students?
So, like as Joel mentioned, we focus on first-generation students,
Oh, got it.
low income and Hispanic. So,
Got it.
Title III, which is Centro STEM,
Yes.
that's more related to science, technology.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Of any of that, perfect. Now, how long have you been doing that?
Actually, I just started school and working within the department in September.
Okay.
So I'm a first-gen student, low-income student, and it's been really fun. And we've seeing what the community outreach within the department has been amazing. Because we've put on a couple, like some of the events we've had was a STEAM art contest.
Yeah.
And that contest, we had a coordinated marketing attack, and it had a lot of very good results. We had 82 participants throughout Carlsbad, Loving, Artesia.
Wow.
And so that's some of the things that we do as the STEM activity promoter. But to see what we're doing now as an independent institution, especially living here in Carlsbad, 25 out of my 27 years, and knowing about the yearly Hallapalooza at the college, but nothing else. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
yeah.
to be a part in the active change of serving this community as an independent institution and seeing how we are now affecting change in our community,
Right.
and reinvesting the money that is given to us, it's astounding. Like it's amazing. The feeling is great, and watching it happen is amazing.
I kind of feel the same way. I've been here. I started
Absolutely.
September 1st. I've been here for a few months, and we're a crowded campus. We got a lot of people and not a whole lot of space, you know what I mean? But we're also a tight-knit campus, and all of us are working together basically from the start, you know what I mean, to build something great, finally releasing the chains of, the financial chains and the idea that we can try stuff, and hopefully it doesn't fail, but maybe something will, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Type situation.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm going to move to Ron here. Ron, I kind of waited a little bit to get to you because Joel and Raymond knew they were going to be here today.
Okay.
Right? And then you just walked in, and I'm like, all right, guess what? You're going to be on the radio too, right? So,
Yes, sir.
So you didn't have time to prepare, so we gave you a little bit of time to prepare. You did print some stuff out for me, so I'm interested in that as well. But first of all, Ron Morales, you're a program manager for HSI and Grant Services. How long have you been the program manager there?
I've been with the Grant Services for the past 7 years. I've been in higher education for about 13 years.
All right, great. Have you done all 13 years here?
7 or 8 years were at NMU Roswell.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm a Greyhound myself, so I like everything NMU, even though I'm a little more. I like the main campus a little more than the Roswell campus, but that's
Right.
okay, right? Yeah. Okay. So good, Greyhound. Nice. What else you got going on?
Well, I'm not a Greyhound. I'm an Aggie. My degrees are from there.
Oh, jeez. Can't we just adopt you? I was like,
Well,
I'll give you an honorary degree.
If you're
I'll
adopting
tell you
him, I'm
one
adopting
thing.
Raymond.
I'll tell you one thing. There's another program called Upward Bound.
Yeah.
And that was my first campus. I was invited to an Upward Bound program, which is also like Title V, serving under students or a population that's first generation, low income, not aware of college.
Right.
Not aware of college opportunities, not knowing what's next. So through Upward Bound, which is a TRIO program, I was invited to be a part of that program when I was a junior in high school. And so every summer and once a month, we would get bussed over to NMUP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my college experience was amazing for me, and it was what I needed at that time in my life, right? I just barely graduated high school, but I got in here. It wasn't a large campus, right? It was just kind of a smaller campus, and it was a little more intimate. And just if I'd have graduated in high school and had been able to go into like a very, very big college, think of like a USC or a U of A or Arizona State or even larger, I probably wouldn't have made it. right? Because I needed that mentorship at my age. And I think that that's what this community college can offer a lot of people as well. Not besides being a place where you can get that higher education right at home, which is great. It's also the idea that not everybody at this age of 16, 17, 18, 19 are ready for the big school, right? Or for the different, you ease your way into this a little bit sometimes, and some people do. And to the point to where, Raymond, nobody really knows this. I'm telling you now, my parents lived in Clovis, New Mexico, and I went to college in Portales, New Mexico, because my dad was in the Air Force, so he was stationed at Cannon Air Force Base. And they said, if you want to go to college and not join the military, you will live with us for the first year, right? Because they were just so concerned that I wasn't really going to be able to make it, right? Because I was just all over the place. I hadn't matured enough, right? Focused for a year, and I settled down. Everything turned out really great. So I feel like small community college campuses or even small universities can really help somebody young that's trying to get over that edge, right? So this is the critical moment, Raymond. You can tell me this too, and Ron, either any of you. This is the critical moment to where they feel like they jump into college and they have an opportunity to succeed and chase their dreams, or they feel they can't and they drop out and feel like they have to join the workforce, right? We want to make sure that they're realizing their dreams, or at least presenting an opportunity for them to realize it, right? Do we feel that way here? I'm sure we do, but
Absolutely.
anybody?
I would agree with you, Johnny, that college is always an option at whatever age. And we all know, we can agree that education is an opportunity that builds a bridge to a better life.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Undisputable.
Right, and college is not necessarily for everybody, right? And that's fair. But in my life growing up, I remember sitting at the dining room table as a family at like 8 years old, and my sister's 6 years old. And my parents told us at 8, you will go to college, right? They drilled it in us. Not all families have that. Not all families have that history, right? And you've got younger people that we had Gina Moreno on campus, just a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah.
what an inspirational
Absolutely.
story, right? You know what I mean? Her parents immigrated. She was born in El Paso. Her parents never even graduated high school, let alone talk about higher education. And as a result of her parents' hard work and the opportunities presented to her through the higher education and the high school and the campuses and everywhere else, all the resources that SENMC is also providing to the community, she's basically CEO of Boeing. Not really, but you know what I mean? She's really high up there. And she's
Could have fooled me.
It was, and you could have. It was incredibly impressive, and she's impressive. And I think that that's what we can do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And
That's
I see
something
it
we
here.
do here.
Yeah.
At the HSI Grant Services Department, provide opportunities for students to be success.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. Joel, he's been here for 3 months in our department, but it feels longer because these past 3 months we've been doing incredible things.
Absolutely. And our whole department, so part of HSI, our whole department, our motto is student success. So we are using these grants that are given to us by the federal government to create programs that are focused on student success, have goals and objectives that are measurable and can be measured for the quality of each goal and objective, but also each goal and objective, but also are self-sustainable once that grant money runs out.
Right. So
we go. That's
perfect.
what I was getting to.
You're right on, Joel. So right now, the Workforce Development Department has a grant from the Department of Energy to train employees at the WIP, the Waste Isolation Pilot Plant at WIP, right? And their goal right now, what we're doing is we're bringing in once a week, we're bringing in these employees, and they're doing their one-day mine refresher course, right? Now, that is currently being funded by the Department of Energy. It's public. We got a grant for it, right? The college got a grant for it. That grant runs out in 5 years, right? Now, will they give another grant? Maybe. I'm sure we'll try to get another grant, right? I mean, of course, right? We always try to get that money.
More money's always
Grant
good.
Services knows that. Everybody here agrees with me, shaking their head up and down for sure, right? But what's more important is during that 5-year period, we're also going to try to build a model that's going to create sustainability. So where if that grant doesn't come, we can still make sure that we're giving the services to the community that we're currently being able to now, right? Plus, maybe the grants change, right? Maybe the focus of maybe in 3 years it's, I don't know, Title VII. I'm making stuff up now. You know what I mean? But maybe it's a Title VII type thing or whatever that is. It's a different designation. So we got it. That's perfect. Now, Ron, I wanted to get into this. You got some papers in front of you. I didn't want to ignore those. Not that anybody else listening can see it. But as program manager under the Title V grant for HSI, is that close enough?
Close.
Okay, as long as I think the listeners knows what I'm referencing. As a program manager, what's your primary goals, right? Obviously program, I get that, but you got some papers there. I'd love to know what you got to share with us.
So basically what I do is I'm a program manager for Title V. It's a Department of Education grant. It's a competitive grant. Through the designation and the application process that we compete for those grants. Now, under Title V, the grant that I follow is Project Adelante, and it's geared for and focused on teacher education pathways.
Okay. I'm gonna stop you for 1 second because I don't know what the word adelante means. I don't know what that means in English.
Adelante means forward.
Okay.
And in the traditions of the Hispanic culture, like say, for example, someone knocks on your door and you say in English, "Who is it?" In Spanish, you can say adelante, and that means enter.
Oh, okay. Or come forward.
Like
maybe.
come
forward.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Right. Or like present yourself,
Yes.
basically, in a way.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. I mean, I got to know
Yeah.
that, and listeners do. I don't want people to listen
So-
to you and be like, be focused on the idea that I don't know what that word is. You know.
So as we were talking, that preparation of education pathways, early childhood education and educators, our state and the nation, and locally, we have a teacher shortage.
Yeah.
So in essence, we have to ask ourselves, without teachers, who will teach the children? Who will teach the engineers, the doctors, the artists, the mathematicians? Who will teach the dreamers?
Right.
And so Project Adelante focuses on identifying talent to become education practitioners. And so it's geared towards outreach. It's geared towards inviting populations into college campuses so that they can become aware of the programming, in the educational realm, as well as the other services that an institution can offer.
Yeah. I have to. I think people need to remember that universities are open campuses, right? We are an open campus. As a member of the community, you can come during business hours and you can walk around the campus and you can check it out, right? It would be nice for you to maybe check in with the front office or the business office. Not a horrible thing as a person, but you don't have to, right? Because we're an open campus. We're a free speech campus. We're an open campus. That's what colleges and universities are. So I encourage everybody in the community to come check us out. Come take a walk around. There's plenty of people that like to walk and hike around the college campus. I've noticed that quite a bit. There's some cool trails right behind us, right?
Absolutely. You got the Ocotillo Trail. It's like 2.2 miles, and
I've seen you in your workout garb running around here.
Absolutely. So on campus, we have a gym for students and faculty. It doesn't have everything your local gym has, but let me tell you, it's enough to get a pump.
Okay.
And relieve some of that learning stress.
Okay.
And if you're a Carlsbad native, you probably know about Ocotillo Trail. But if you're not, let me tell you, this is one of the most beautiful hikes you're gonna have in this town, and it's right here behind the college, and it goes all the way up to Sea Hill, and then you get the backdrop of the whole town. So
Have every one of you hiked Ocotillo Trail yet? You have too?
Once a week.
No way. Okay. So I have not hiked it once. So maybe
Oh, you should.
the next time you guys plan something, let me know. I'd love to hike it with you.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, because then I'm not gonna do it myself, but I'd rather do it with new friends. You know what I mean? Instead, by the way. All right. So we've got, I don't know, let's call it about 5 minutes left or so, maybe a little bit more. We're having a great conversation, so I don't feel like we need to end it right now. But I feel like there's plenty of stuff that I probably haven't even touched on, right? I mean, we're promoting HSI, we're promoting grant services, we're promoting Southeast New Mexico College, which we're all really pumped about. Not to mention the fact that they do pay all of us. So that's easy to get pumped up by a place that pays you.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, none of us are here for the paycheck. I mean, seriously, like everybody here is here to help make the community better. Some of us don't need to be here, but want to be here, right? And that's kind of the idea of what we're doing, is uplifting the community at any age. I'd really love to see I'd like to see grandmas in here getting some extra education, especially if it's a community education or
Absolutely.
something, right? It's all really, really worthwhile. So what I want to do is I want to do a roundtable as we close. Raymond, I'm going to end with you. Mm-hmm. We're going to start with Joel, then we're going to go to Ron, then we're going to go to Raymond. And so this is real simple. I don't even necessarily have a specific question. I might have one as you're speaking, but more importantly, kind of give me a conclusion. Sum up, what your role is here. Obviously, you've talked a lot about SENMC and what they mean for you, but let's sum it up with, give me a closing statement, but I also want to talk about what you see spring 2024 looking like, right?
Okay, absolutely. So we have a packed schedule for the spring. We don't have dates on anything,
Sure.
but I can tell you we're loaded with events. And I'm not going to get into particulars.
When did your planning for the spring 2024 events start?
Immediately after Thanksgiving break.
Okay,
I
right,
mean,
that's- all right.
we took off running the whole department, and everything's already coming in together. We'll have dates very soon and have them up on Facebook and our Instagram account that you guys can check those out. But there are a couple things I want to highlight in the ending. Us being within this community, there are a couple stigmas that come with community colleges. And that is the fact that, it's unspoken knowledge that maybe community college faculty isn't as good as a 4-year university or something like that. But let me tell you that research shows that HSIs, Hispanic serving institutions, have some of the best credentialed faculty because the professors and stuff that want to teach at HSIs and historically black colleges and universities go out and load their resume to come and teach the marginalized or less focused on students, especially that type of demographic within this community.
Right.
And number two is that, higher education in the state of New Mexico right now is really inexpensive. And we have different scholarships offered, through the state and through the school that make it completely affordable, way more affordable than it was.
So if you're enrolling for a fall 2024 class, and especially if it's the first time you've enrolled here, you need to check with the financial aid office. You need to check with grant services. You need to check with somebody in the college before you go ahead and decide to pay. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because they're going to help you find that money that's there. And there's one last thing, and Joel, thank you very much. One last thing I do want to say in reference to community colleges. There is no such thing as a 250 student English 101 class at SENMC, right? That doesn't exist. There are no classrooms where you're sitting in a huge auditorium and the professor doesn't even know what you look like. That's not the case. Your best student to teacher ratio in the entire state guaranteed, no, hands down, right? And that's a positive thing. And
absolutely. When you compound that, the 15 to 1, where you got someone that's got all this knowledge, all this experience, all this education, and then you interact and then you have time to pick their brain and see how they look at things, you get a better worldview of particular problems very fast. And let me tell you, it expands your mind and starts, it ignited in me that thing you had when you were a kid.
Yeah, for sure.
The curiosity.
So, Ron, you were a freshman at New Mexico State University so many years ago, right?
Yes, I was.
How large was your what was the largest freshman class that you had, do you think? Like that one really large class?
I'm going to say about 300 students.
Okay. 300 students. That's not going to happen here. All right. So, Ron, close us out, man. Tell us what you're looking for 2024. And and thank you for being real honest about how you were one of way too many when you were a freshman at State.
Well, Johnny, what I want to share is for the community as well as the students, be aware that Taste of Culture is coming up in the spring. Big event on campus. Okay? Everybody supports that. We get involved. We see what the university brings to the or the college brings to the community. Also, if you have a need or a desire, a small group, individually, large group, campus tours, we're open.
Great.
Okay? Just call the college and we have representatives, student ambassadors. They can lead an individual, a small group, a large group through a campus tour. Guided, you can ask questions and fill the space. The last thing I want to leave the community with, as well as the students, apply for financial aid. Don't be hesitant. Most of us may say, well, I want to pay out of pocket because this is my education. But the federal government provides resources to help you pay for those educational expenses. Apply for financial aid. It's an annual process. Don't say I won't qualify. Let them decide.
Right.
Yes, let your institution decide.
Yeah.
Let your financial aid director decide if there's criteria that you didn't meet or whatever the decision may be. But apply. It's a free application.
Why would you shut that door without, you know what I mean? Why would you close the door on the idea of financial aid without even trying? It doesn't make any sense. Don't close doors before you even know if they can open to you.
We're all taught. Don't leave money on the table.
Right. Don't leave a penny on the ground. I don't do that, right?
Exactly.
It's also important to note that, when you apply for FAFSA, that's something that scholarships review. So you may not get money from the federal government with a Pell Grant or something, but if scholarships on the outside review that application and see that you didn't get help from the federal government, you're more likely to pick up a private scholarship, which is going to help you pay. There you go. You know what I mean? It may not be as much, but that's the reason for filling the paper out.
Any little bit helps. Any little bit helps.
And with scholarships, it's better to apply for 10 scholarships, 20 scholarships, and get one than to say, I'm not going to apply and get none.
Absolutely. Well said, Ron. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Raymond, what do you got for us?
So I don't want to be talking and then been talking for like 10 minutes. So I'm going to invite everyone to like us on Facebook.
Okay.
We are under SENMC HSI Grant Services. You can also follow us on Instagram under the same name, SENMC HSI Grant Services. We're always posting everything that we do, any event, any workshop, it's going to be there. And those are also open to the community. Okay, so if you're not a student with us, you can also come, and it's for free.
All right.
We also have like movie nights, cultural events, and everything's for our students and our community.
Right. I think it's important for the community to know that we are not a separate entity from you all any longer. If you felt like we were before, sorry, wasn't our fault, but that's not what we are. We are an outlet for the community, and this is a great space where I believe that we are the future beacon on the hill for this community. I truly, truly believe that. SENMC HSI Grant Services on Instagram and on Facebook. Those are the best two places. Message them on Facebook, too. I'm sure you guys have a quick response.
Yes.
So what I would like to say, this is the first time that HSI and Grant Services has been on the radio show. Thank you all very much for coming on. It will certainly not be the last. Let's make you guys regular guests. So once again, to my right, Raymond Dominguez, Title V Activity Director, and my middle, Ron Morales, Program Manager for HSI Grant Services. And then on my left, Joel Barrett, STEM Activity Promoter with the HSI Grant Services, as well as a non-traditional student, and quite possibly the most enthusiastic one I've seen.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you.
Cool.
I appreciate it.
Thank you three very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Johnny.
You're listening to Community Forum on KCCC 930 AM, sponsored by Eddy County, honoring God, country, and family, thriving with industry since 1889. Also sponsored by CNB Bank. Go to carlsbadnational.com to learn more.